Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Eternal Spring. I'm Paul Thurrott, and I'm here as always with my wife, Stephanie. Hello.
Hello.
I'm going to laugh every time I say that now. Doesn't matter. So we thought we'd come in with a final cost update for 2022. We just made our last trip to Mexico City for the year at the end of October. I think this was my 7th trip this year. Does that sound right? And you had 8, maybe?
I think so.
Something like that.
Something like that. Quite a few.
Yeah, it wasn't expensive, so that's fine. Actually, what we're talking about, the cost of furnishing. What we should be talking about is how much it costs to fly there every time. Anywho, the last time we checked in was in September, which was between our August trip, which we were there for was just 1 week, actually. 2 weeks in August.
Mm-hmm. I
Okay.
think so.
And
Maybe
then,
more.
yeah, I don't remember. And then 2 weeks at the end of October with just you and I.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time of at that last video, the final figure we had at the time, this is for apartment related costs, right? Beds, furniture, etc., was $9,716. And we made one big addition on this last trip, and that's it. But that's maybe a good sign. I don't know.
Yep.
And
Yeah, we
that?
bought a day bed at IKEA for the guest room, which is nice because it's space,
Right.
space saving. You can open it up when you need it, and you can close it to a twin size bed when you don't.
Right.
Since we have to make every square inch count in this place. That cost $564, and that brings our new total cost up to $10,280.
Mm. Okay.
We were hoping to keep it under 10.
Yeah.
We've kind of over that. We do have a few more things we need to get. We'll talk about later, but
it's most of the big stuff.
We're done with most of the big stuff, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Not that, I mean, we have, there's plenty of money to spend for sure. I don't mean we have plenty of money to spend, just that there is plenty of money to spend. And we'll get to that, like you said. But yeah, the other couple of things that happened on that trip that were money related, I guess, was when we had, I guess it must have been back in May when we finalized the purchase, that architect guy set up our internet for us, which was nice. But he set it up with the slowest internet they have, which is okay, but not what I was looking for. So this is through a company called Total Play, and they offer various packages, but the one that he had gotten for us was 100 megabits over 10 megabits, which was about $35 a month, which is crazy inexpensive. But they have various packages. I don't remember all of them, but it's probably 250, 500, and 1 gigabit. So I opted for the 500 over 50, which is about $50 a month, all things right with taxes and everything, which is reasonable, right, for that kind of thing. That's a little faster than what we get at home. So our internet at home here is about 400 over 40, and it's it's funny. I think a lot of people would think the internet in Mexico would be terrible, but actually it's fiber, and it can be fantastic. So that was nice. We didn't do that until fairly late in the game on that trip, but that seemed to work out great. So that's good. The other thing we did was we got a Telcel SIM card. And so probably also back in May, we had gotten a SIM card from AT&T with a Mexican phone number, which you need for some things. And the problem with that is you have to recharge it, but you can only do it there. And the nice thing about the Telcel SIM is you can do it over the internet from anywhere. So I actually haven't done it yet, but I've signed in to see that I can do it. And I can recharge that anytime I need to use it. It should work for international calls and texts and things like that. And I won't need the data here, obviously, but about $15 a month. I mean, kind of a nice deal. I think it's inexpensive enough and works well enough that this is probably the way we're going to go going forward. I would think the two of us, right? We'll get one for you sometime in the future as well. And I actually used that data when I was there, right? Because at some point my T-Mobile data was getting close to the edge. And I just switched over to the Telcel SIM. It worked fantastic. It was 5G. It was fantastic.
Right.
Okay. So that's it for the money. Well, we'll never be done with the money, but that's it for the money that we've spent so far this year, I guess. Although we do have other money-related topics to discuss. And I think in the future, we'll probably do this as a separate video, but maybe you could briefly explain, I guess, the other big concern financially for us this year.
Yes. So one thing, we knew going into this, we were taking a risk because we used our home equity line in the US on the house that we own here to pay for quite a bit of the purchase price of the house in Mexico. And, you know, as most people probably know, the interest rates had kind of stayed nicely low and stable for the whole, pretty much the 5 years we were here. Our monthly payment on that thing was the same every time.
Right.
Now we've tapped into a lot more of that money and discovered interest rates have gone from, you know, 3% to 7% because of inflation this year.
Right.
And so now that takes our monthly cost for those things from about $750 a month to $1,500 a month. So
double.
Yeah, double.
Right. Yeah.
So, and we don't know what interest rates are going to do going forward. Do they keep going up? Do they stabilize at 7?
Yeah.
Do they go back down?
Yeah.
You know, nobody knows. So
yeah. So we'll look at that more
uncertain.
closely in the future too. We're going to be making some changes here at some point. I mean, we've been talking about selling the house for a long time anyway, and at that point, the apartment would be paid off, et cetera. So there'll be a lot of monthly costs going away, which will be nice. I mean, we have to figure out a place to live and so forth. But and we also have some monthly expense type updates we'll do in the future as well. You know, we have bills associated with the apartment for things like electric and
gas,
you know,
the
whatever.
internet we just talked about.
Yeah, so we'll look at that separately. And then I guess there's also, like I said, more money to be spent. We're not done with the apartment. You know, we have, I think, most of the big stuff probably, but we have lots of things to get in terms of like lamps, especially. Our apartment right now is either pitch dark or really bright. You know,
there's no
overhead
between.
lights everywhere. It's not ideal. The bathrooms are not in any way close to being ready for anybody to use. I mean, we don't have mirrors, you know, kind of organizers.
Storage.
Yeah.
We'd like to get some air purifiers because there are times in the year, especially in the dry season, where the air quality isn't as good in Mexico City. So to have an air purifier in the apartment would be nice.
Right.
Possibly a built-in water filtration system. So you don't have to cart water back and forth from the store. That's, you know, it's not necessary. We can certainly buy water at the store, but it might be nice to have going forward.
Especially since we won't be there full time, right? So it's one thing to be there, you know, for X number of months in a row, long time, and you've got a service coming in, bringing in water. That's great. But when you're only going there for weeks at a time, and hopefully in the future, months at a time, it's not regular. And so it'd be neat if we could just do that right at the sink in the kitchen or wherever we do it, and have that one place where we know that water's pure and we don't have to worry about it. So.
Yeah, I think we're definitely getting close. I think definitely for sure in 2023, we will have everything that we want to have that be a comfortable place.
Well, I hope you have wood to knock on nearby. Yeah, definitely in 2023, we'll be all set. Well, anyway, but that's it for this year. And not for videos, but for money. Well, for updating the apartment and spending money on that kind of stuff. So we have other videos to do, obviously, but it was a big year financially, and I don't mean that in a good way, but you know, we made a big life change, and it was something unexpected. I think the thing that's so interesting about this, and of course it's interesting because it's us, but you know, to us it's interesting, but you know, we went out there in January just like any other trip, and we were going to keep coming back to Mexico, and you know, everything changed, and part of everything changing means we spent a lot of money that we didn't have. You know, so you know, hopefully, like I said, we'll sell the house and we'll figure that out. So we'll get there somehow. I guess. Yeah.
We don't have to eat ramen. We're okay.
Yet. So, we have to adjust our way of thinking here. Anyway, so that's it for this. And thank you for watching. We will be back soon with another video.
Bye.